Hi, welcome back. In this video we're going to add some functionality that will check to see if our username and password that the user entered is correct. We're going to do this using some variables which let's just pretend these are variables that we pulled from a database. We haven't got into databases yet, and that's okay. Just for these few videos, let's just use some variables that we create, and we'll use the same names as before: db name and db pass for the password. And in reality, these would be variables which we pulled from a database. So we can, to write pseudocode here, we could go from database to be determined. And so this variable will be different for each case, which we'll get into a lot more later on. But for now, we'll just use some constant, some literal strings here. Database name, let's put John Smith, and database password 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so just to reiterate one more time, these two variables in a real login form are going to be pulled from a database, which we haven't looked at yet, but we will get into in the next few videos. So let's just keep those for now. We'll just pretend this is one username and one password from the database. And so we're going to want to go ahead and check our username to make sure that it matches the name we have for that user in our database, and obviously also check the password to make sure that's the password that matches that username. And if those conditions are true, then we know that's the right person, and we can go ahead and log that person in. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more functionality here to our if statement. So this highlighted area here is our initial if statement, which checks the value of our isSet function there. So if this is true, then we run this code here. Now let's add another if statement inside of this if statement. We'll just go, actually we'll go under our variables here. If username is, remember the double equal sign for comparing values, and we'll compare db name, because that's the name we pulled out of our database, in this case John Smith. And we'll use our AND conditional operator. Password is equal to whatever password we pulled out of the database for that user. Okay, so then let's add our opening and closing curly braces. And if this is true, we'll go ahead and cut our echo statement out there and add it in here, and we'll say welcome back John Smith if this is a correct username and password. Else we're going to echo out username and password do not match. Okay, now in this case where username and password do not match, we're actually also going to want to include our form, so maybe they could try again. So let's include form.php, which is exactly the same as down here. It's just this time we're giving a different message. We're not saying please enter your username. We're saying username and password do not match. We're kind of giving some feedback to the user. So let's save that. Oh, actually, I think I was out of the frame here. Sorry about that. So I was referring to this else statement down here. Please enter your username, and this else statement here, which just gives our user a different message there. So let's go ahead and see what that does in our browser. Make sure you reload to get a fresh copy of your file there. So we'll enter John Smith, and we'll put the wrong password in. Okay, so username and password do not match, plus we had our form appear again. So there's our form. So let's go John Smith 12345, which is the correct username and password, and welcome back John Smith. And our form is gone, just like we want it to be, and we're logged in, kind of. So that's going to be a what's called a nested if statement. It's inside another if statement. This whole highlighted area is inside the larger if statement here, and so what we can do from here is actually even make it more give our user another message if maybe the username is incorrect and not the password, or vice versa. So let's get rid of this and conditional operator and everything behind it. We can go if username is equal to database name. We could go and make another if statement inside of that if statement. So we can go if the username matches, let's go ahead and also check if password is equal to the database password. And if that's true, then echo welcome back so and so. Otherwise, else echo wrong password, because this condition here, if password equals database pass, was not true, will echo wrong password, and that'll be it. So if username does not equal database name, then we could have it go down here and echo username not found. Okay, so now we have two different scenarios. If they enter the wrong username, we'll say username not found. If they enter the right username, we'll go down to here. If they enter the wrong password, we'll drop down to our else wrong password. So now we're getting pretty clear with our user what we're expecting from him or her. And also, one more thing, we'll also want to include our form.php. So if it is the wrong password, they can go ahead and try again. So let's save that. We'll reload this. Actually, you may have to go up to your URL bar and actually hit enter. That'll totally refresh everything. Sometimes reload will save your reload will actually save your post variable, so you want to go up here and click enter to totally reload everything. So please enter username John Adams and the correct password. Let's see what happens. Username not found. Okay, so let's try John Smith, and then we'll put the wrong password. Wrong password. Okay, so now we're kind of in business here. John Smith 12345. Welcome back, John Smith. So so we gave our user some different messages depending on what the problem was with our nested if statements. And again, we used the tab here to kind of show we tabbed in for each nesting. So this block of code here, we can kind of clearly see that this if statement is tabbed in, so that's inside of the parent if statement there. So this would be the child if statement of this larger parent if statement there. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.